Anybody see how close he was? Chat, this is me not knowing where my enemy is yet again.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jessekazam. Welcome back to another Escape From Tarkov video. This is another one of our lessons from Beyond the Grave, where we watch some clips from my stream where I died, and we break down what happened and learn how to be a better player next time and learn what we can do better. This one is about audio. The audio in Escape From Tarkov is not only very complicated in that all the guns sound different and there's a lot of different noises that your player can make and that other players can make, but then also with the addition of Steam audio and then some of the bugs that have happened in the game, sometimes it can just feel like a mess and it can be hard to figure out exactly what happened. So we're going to be looking at a clip where I deal with that. I stream Escape From Tarkov on Twitch. All my links will be down below. And if you like the video, thinking about dropping it a like or subscribing for more content like this, liking and subscribing the video help me out a lot. So I'm very appreciative to those of you that do that. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive right in. So as always, what we'll do is we'll watch the clip back in its entirety, and then we'll kind of go back and watch it again and figure out what happened and what I could do better next time. The setup for this clip is just, this is a woods raid. This is relatively early in the raid, so I am aware of the spawns and trying to figure out where people are. I got the spawn up along the wall behind where I am here, which means there are people to my left and to my right potentially, so not in a great spot, which is why I'm kind of proceeding very cautiously here. But let's go ahead and watch the clip.
Anybody see how close he was? Okay. Is he up top? Am I tripping balls? Chat, this is me not knowing where my enemy is yet again. Okay, so he was definitely behind. 2. He went up. So this was a rough one. This one, obviously you can tell basically from the very beginning that the audio is 100% what happened. I mean, I even call out, I say, chat, this is me not knowing where my enemy is. And this night in particular, we felt like this was happening a lot, which was why I was able to be like, man, this is happening again. And I don't know what's going on. Now, like we said, the audio in Escape From Tarkov is awesome in a lot of ways and really like a struggle in a lot of other ways. You know, we know that there are bugs with vertical audio and certain things like that that make it hard. But then there's also really cool aspects of like how all the guns sound different and being able to identify a lot of sounds. Obviously, we weren't dealing with any sort of vertical audio here, but what happened is I'll play this section of the clip back a few times and just listen with where you hear the impact or where you hear from first, left or right. Because we watched this back on stream about 100 times, and even just within chat, we were getting a lot of different people saying different things, and that I think is just because different people kind of perceive sound a little bit differently. Right there. I'm just going to play that little section back a few more times. So in that instance, for me, what happened there was I heard what appears to me the impact of the gun first and then the shot. And even in chat, we were seeing people saying they heard the shot first. Even I had somebody come in and say that oftentimes a closer sound, your brain will perceive it as louder or suppress something else. But no matter how you slice it, what happened was I heard the impact of the bullet hitting the wall to my left, and because I was hearing out of my left ear first, I thought that he was maybe up along the wall, because I'm obviously focused here, and I'm going to peek around this tree, and I wasn't focused here, so I was like, maybe I missed him, maybe he's laying prone on the wall, and I missed him. I thought that I heard from my left first, and so I just reacted immediately without really thinking too hard or processing what was happening. I just reacted and pulled away. And you can see the more that we listen to it a ton, you can kind of eventually clearly tell that it was the impact, and then you can hear the ring of the gun. And so we had some people say that they heard the gunshot first or anything like that. But I think part of it is being able to understand what like an impact sounds like and what an actual weapon sounds like, and the ring and the echo, as opposed to the impact of just hitting and then basically dying, and then learning like what the guns sound like. So I basically reposition here. I'm trying to use this as cover. The thing is, though, once again, another big tip here is always something that I'm working on is always being able to adjust what I think is happening. So at this point, I think that he's over this hill. The second shot he takes at me, as I watch it back, is very clearly from behind me. At first, I wasn't sure, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but the second shot is very clearly behind me.
Did anybody see how close he was?
Now, that one is much clearer, in my opinion, on which sound is the impact and then which sound is the sound of the gun. And the sound of the gun is behind me.
Okay.
And so, but my problem here is that I'm still, for some reason, I do this a lot actually. I attach onto, as soon as a fight starts, whatever I think is happening, I attach onto that and then justify everything else that happens to me around that initial like thesis of what's happening. And that's false. I should have been able to say, I thought he was up there. Once I got here and shot here, understood, oh, nope, either he or another player's behind me. But I'm like asking if he's up on top. I'm still exposing myself to him. I'm surprised I didn't die earlier, to be honest with you, especially since it was a duo. I exposed myself to them for a really, really long time before I kind of realized. Now, once I realize what's happening, we are much more like ready for this fight. We try to push someone around with the flashbang, and it works. We're able to push this guy around the corner, meet him on the other side. We do see some scavs down there, but they don't seem like they're aggroed onto us, so I'm not too worried about that. I was able to identify that it was two. I felt like once I was just able to figure out where these guys were, I was ready to fight them, and we just weren't able to start it off right. I should have heard right here. I hear much closer steps than this guy is. Once again, the audio. So he had jumped up. I don't think I heard him jump on top, but I heard those close right steps. So I should have been much more aware of the fact that he was up top. And then we see him, right there. We're able to see him up in this corner very briefly. And then he gets the drop on us. So the audio here is really what messed with it. I mean, we spent probably a good 30, 45 minutes talking about this clip on stream afterwards. And so there's like a few things like we were talking about. One, it's understanding what a gunshot is versus the impact. Even just understanding that like listening to where the two sounds come from. Well, like I said, it ended up being that I heard that impact to my left, and I just decided that he was in front of me, and I started ignoring other information that was kind of like leading me to believe that I was wrong. So that's a huge thing. So it's hard. We talked about this for a while. It's training, not only of like for what to listen to, but also an understanding of like the map knowledge. Like once again, like we said earlier, I was early in the raid, and there are a bunch of spawns that oftentimes wrap around behind me, and that would be exactly where these guys are. I spawned up the wall, and there are also a spawn up here, and a lot of times these guys do like to come up onto this hill, which is why I was proceeding with caution here, and that's also why I was worried about them being in front. The map knowledge plays into it a lot. It wasn't just a blind decision that like I thought he was in front there. A lot of times the people that spawn there will hop up on those rocks and wait. So I was like, oh, they've got an angle. But as much as you go into a situation and think that you know what's happening, it's all about letting the actual information from the raid dictate that and not just what I think. And I think that I and a lot of players do that a lot more than we think. We think we're on this map, so a person should be there, but then we're hearing shots from a different angle, or you're not sure, and we're just not letting that information kind of inform us. And that happens to me a lot. So we kind of broke this down for a while. They gave me multiple chances to understand where they were coming from. But there's definitely something to be said for newer players just as you play. This isn't something you have to like study or work on. It's just as you play, being able to identify what the impact sounds like, what the gunshots sound like, and use that information even just a second. Another thing that a lot of players do is even while the gunshot is still ringing, as soon as they get shot, just start to rotate a little bit. And here, Veritas is a huge proponent of this. As soon as you're getting shot, if you're not sure where it's from, just rotate your character a little bit, because as the audio shifts, you might be able to be like, oh, now I can understand that it's more to my right or more behind me than I originally thought. So this was definitely a frustrating clip for me that we really spent some time trying to figure out. It's, you know, like we said, there's a whole lot to the Tarkov sound, and sometimes you can be like, that was a bug when it wasn't a bug, or sometimes you could be like, I don't know what's going on, and it's a bug. It's frustrating. In this situation, it wasn't really a bug. I just mistook one thing for another and then let my own decision of what this situation was going to be kind of taint the rest of the fight. We were able to take one down, which was cool, but we could have had a much bigger advantage on these guys if I immediately crossed over the hill, got up on this rock, or any number of positions, since they were going to push anyway. So I hope that this helped. I hope this helped kind of maybe brought to light something that was frustrating to you, which is like why you keep thinking something's in front when they're behind, or left when they're right. And then this can be something that you practice a lot more in your raids. Thank you all so much, as always, for taking the time to check out this video. If you want to see me do more of this live, where we break down deaths and gameplay and figure out how we can get better, I do it all the time on my Twitch channel. I stream Escape From Tarkov 5-6 days a week. All my links will be down below. We also have a super active Discord. People that are willing to just run raids if you're looking for people, or help with quests if you're new, or answer questions, all that kind of stuff. That link is down below as well. Like we said before, like the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm always trying to help shorten the learning curve of the game and get you in your raids having fun as soon as possible. Thank you again so much for stopping by, and I will definitely see y'all on the next one.